Hello and welcome. Another podcast, Coulworld podcast number 11. We have a special one today. As you can see from there's another guy in your screen, we've got a guest.
Hello. I thought you were going to say number 11, XA, Latin.
I can do. For those that don't know, we got Drewzy. Drewzy, how are you?
Hello. Yep, never been better. So
Really?
Yep.
That's a big call.
Yeah, no, going well.
What's going so well for you?
Just
Fucking show off.
Meanwhile, we're depressed.
Fuck you, doing well. I've just been very productive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wrote in my diary at the start of this year. So I got a diary because I'm a big weasel. I wrote down like I find myself happiest when I'm productive. So I've just been productive and it's the formula that's been working for me.
That's cool. So what kinds of productivity does that include?
Well, obviously YouTube, big one. So that's keeping me on my toes. Just launched the Drew Footy show. Very excited for that. Coming this week.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes, we will be.
And then we'll shoot the Drew Footy show. Nice. But no, YouTube. I'm doing prac at the moment at the state under 19 girls football team. Strength and conditioning. Come on.
Extracurricular at Drewzy's house.
But no, that's sick. Learning to train athletes and that. And then just uni as well. Trying to keep up with it all. I just started jiu-jitsu properly. Boxing. And I'm going to the gym 4 times a week. So I've been bloody chock-a-block, mate. But, as I said, it's the formula. I think that suits me well.
What is the formula exactly? So you've said the things that you do. How do you fit it? How do you structure your week then? What's the formula that you look at do you look at things on a weekly basis, or how do you structure it?
I know what I'm going to be doing all week. I'll definitely look like sort of a couple days ahead. Obviously, having uni on particular days, you can structure it. Like me and Jesse are going to film at certain times on Mondays. Got prac on those days. Obviously, like jiu-jitsu and boxing classes on certain days. And yeah, just trying to fit it all in, really.
Gross.
No comment.
I guess for the very small percentage of people who watch Coulworld and don't know you either through your channel, at least through True Footy, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you do on YouTube?
Not a lot.
Ain't that the truth? Nah, you're talented.
Nah, so are you, buddy. I don't know.
This is going to be a weird podcast.
Make similar content to you, really, just a lot shitter.
Nah,
Come on.
Football guys.
Yeah, just football guys. Just
Football friends.
Football friends.
Yeah, just AFL videos, vlog from time to time, just anything sport related. That was originally the plan starting the channel. Wanted to make some like sport content and that, but AFL niche is ours. This is no. But yeah, I don't know, just regular football content, same as Jesse, pretty much.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, why did you actually pick AFL when you started? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Just got the most views.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Integrity.
I think, yeah, just living in Australia and going to every Freo game, it's just like an easy way to do it. There's so much content creators that make videos in the Premier League and like UFC and stuff like that. Some skinny boy from Perth isn't going to know what he's talking about in those fields, so just let me talk about football and might get some views. This is only about 10 AFL YouTube channels out there. Got to be in the top 10.
There's a few young ones sprouting around. Got to be in the top 10. I don't know. It is getting bigger though. There's a lot more people doing the AFL thing as well. But yeah, it's getting competitive. You got a lot of them are like under 18 as well.
Yeah.
And they're all far superior and more talented than my 27-year-old self. I'm just saying there's a lot of like talented, cool people doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, that Mitch Ryan cricket game had pretty much all of them in it.
That was sick though.
Yeah.
That was like an actually sick production.
Did you see that?
Mitch Ryan, this young fella, he's about 16 over there. Because a lot of people who do AFL YouTube are obviously based in Victoria.
Yeah.
And they did this like big 10-10 cricket match, like a 2020. And just filmed it, but it was cool. They just like, it was actually quite a production. You had the score graphics on the screen. You had like replays and stuff like that, and multiple camera shots, and you had like Caden McDonald playing, Young King Cooks, and all the big dogs, as it were.
Mitch Ryan,
couldn't make the trip.
No, yeah, bloody Mark McGowan. Topical. State election was on today. We'll find out about that tonight, eh?
Really?
Probably, yeah.
They can't counter that fast.
Harsh segue. Yeah, no, I think you generally find out the same night.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, so
Politics.
there was a cool cricket match and Nathan ended up Reese is what I was getting at. Did you vote?
Yes. I
Exposed.
Yeah.
No, I haven't registered, so I don't think I have to. But I probably should have registered. But shout out Mark McGowan and that. Hopefully, he brings it home for the boys.
Yeah. So you actually couldn't have voted if you wanted to today.
No, or he would have registered.
Yeah, if I registered.
And
I
then,
could've.
have you missed one? Does that mean? Have you missed an election before? Have you
No.
missed a time to vote?
Oh no,
right.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I think this was the first time I could have voted.
Yeah, true.
Someone just needs to lower uni costs and legalise medical marijuana.
I knew you were going to say that.
Nah, but genuinely, the therapeutic uses of marijuana.
The two biggest issues to a man like yourself is
And they both go hand in hand. Uni students want to get high, and high people want to go to uni.
True.
Yeah.
Did you vote today, Dylan?
I did.
Do you want to say who you voted for? Do you care?
I don't care. Nah, Labor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Keep it the same. I thought Mark McGowan did really well through the COVID stuff. Although the last 5 day lockdown was a hoax.
Yeah, I agree.
It never happened.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, no. I was actually saying this today. I feel like it happens with a lot of elections. Like it definitely happened in the US and definitely happens in Australia. But a lot of the time, you're not picking who's the best candidate. You're picking who's like the least shittiest. Like there's a couple of options you don't really like, and you're like, oh, well, who doesn't suck the most? And that's how you sort of rattle off who you're gonna pick.
Giggity.
Weird.
The opposite of my policy.
The last person I liked was like John Howard, and I was like young as hell, so I couldn't vote. But I
He
was
seems
like,
fat and likable.
yeah. It was a
sorry
cool
for
dude.
him. Give him an actual pity vote.
he cannot bowl a cricket ball, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I voted Labor. How about yourself? What did you do?
I did the same thing. I'm really politically illiterate, as they say, which is, I saw a meme not a meme, it was a quote. It said like the worst kind of illiterate to be is politically illiterate because you're showing you don't care about society and the people struggling. And I was like, fuck, I suck.
I don't know how accurate that is.
I mean, yeah, maybe it doesn't make you a terrible person, but when you think about it, like, yeah, you should care to some extent.
I think Australia isn't a good enough place where you don't really have to care about politics. Like,
Honestly, it barely
That's a good
changes.
point.
It barely changes. The party can change.
Yeah.
Like the power can change in the parties, and like my direct life won't change. And like if someone to say like that, it means he don't care about your community. It's like no, but I work on grassroots level. Like I'm not up there dealing with their issues.
Yeah.
And like the things that I deal with, I don't give a fuck about either. So like the things that I care about is like walking past a homeless man, like offering like, can I buy you a McDonald's meal when you look hungry? Like they don't give a fuck about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I think there's a huge difference, and it depends on what you're after. But my issues and things that I focus on are grassroots, so like the bottom.
Yeah.
Like
Giggity.
yeah. They're just stop doing this.
I'm ruining it.
How is this a new trait that you just picked up in the last 5 minutes?
No, I've done it for years. I've just suppressed it for the last couple. But,
just resurfaced.
yeah, you're right. To be fair, I think the context of that quote that I read was probably from like the fucking Great Depression.
Yeah.
Somebody said that. Yeah, you're right. It is a good point that in Australia, like, we're somewhat blessed enough where it's like, yeah, the difference between voting Labor or Liberal is not going to really vastly affect people.
No, like
your
tax isn't going to hike up, or like
Yeah.
an interest rate isn't going to drop or dramatically increase.
Yeah.
It was interesting how Labor advertised for you to vote Labor for this whole thing. They just went against like the opposition party. Like they had like the L plate thing on them. Like, why would you trust this bloke?
I saw an ad, man. I saw this ad, and it honestly made me like rethink whether I wanted to vote Labor because it was just so tacky. And it was I forget what's the opposition's name?
Zach
that young
Kirkup.
dude.
Zach Kirkup, I think.
Zach Kirkup. Well,
Kirkup? Yeah.
That's a stupid name. It shouldn't be the Premier.
yeah,
name.
change your name. Change your name ASAP. Anyway, this video was literally an ad on YouTube. And it just rattled off, and like one of the points was like, Zach Kirkup has never had a real job.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, man, and it was like literally just like a joke. Like it's what I would expect from like a mockumentary. It was so immature, and it was just like Percy type. He's never had a job. He's too young to run a state. You know, there's like I was watching it, and I was like, I actually want to vote for him now because like that's just the most immature shit I've ever seen in my life.
But that's not the first time that's happened. That's pretty common.
I know, yeah.
So,
I've just never really witnessed it.
Yeah.
When like it's my time to vote.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I've really like seen it, and I was like,
Yeah. They go ham on each other. I hate like political advertising. It's always like personal and immature, like you say. But the people they're trying to appeal to are the lower. Well, yeah, I can only assume the people they're trying to go for, the sort of people who talk about political leaders in that way. So they're like, oh yeah, he doesn't have a real job, yeah, blah blah, yeah, like those sort of people.
He's been supported by his parents his whole life.
Yeah. But what was, without getting too into it, because I fucking know nothing about politics, so I'm gonna sound like an idiot. But just some casual observations was, did you see Zach came out and was like, yeah, this isn't my time. Like he more or less acknowledged that he wasn't going to win an election, which I don't think has ever happened before.
No, it's kind of a weird game plan.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he's young does excite me. Like having not in a weird way, no homo. But just having like someone that's running our state, like a young person who might be more in tune to like the culture, or might be more in tune to issues that we care about.
Prices and legalizing medical use of marijuana.
Make Culture Kings more accessible.
Is that what the kids do these days? Go to Culture Kings, bro.
If one of these politicians got big on TikTok, it's game over. Like it's just done.
Dude, it's a strong.
Although everyone on TikTok is not 18, so
yeah.
irrelevant.
YouTube is probably the way to go, though.
Yeah, maybe.
YouTube's a bit of an older demographic.
Well, I mean, that ad I saw was a YouTube ad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, my audience is all 75% 18 to 35 as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is that your main audience?
Yeah.
What's yours, Drewzy?
I don't know, probably 14 to 18.
It's a bit skewed though, because I think there's a lot of kids who use their parents' account or make a 18-year-old account so they can watch whatever they want. Cause there's no porn on YouTube, obviously. No. Believe me.
But getting its head cut off. That type of stuff is what they're watching.
Yeah. Is that on YouTube? That sounds like more of
I've googled it.
It sounds more of a live leak thing. Have you ever been on live leak?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a bit cool.
I have.
Yeah. Is it like you can?
Don't go on.
People die on live leak, but yeah. Anyway, where the hell were we?
Politics.
YouTube.
Politics.
No, YouTube advertising, or even just like making a YouTube channel would be an interesting way to go in the future for someone trying to win an election.
Yeah.
Like
Different
Mark
mediums
McGowan podcast or something like that.
That'd probably bang.
Probably bang, yeah.
It'd be interesting.
You wouldn't have time to do it, surely.
They honestly need to make it like the information. Like if you were to say like, right, like I actually want to study up and follow what's going on, you'd have like with the elections or like any sort of politics, you have to go through like old school media. Like you got to read the papers, you got to watch the news, and I feel like our generation isn't really keen on that shit. Like
you got Triple J.
True, we got Triple J, but I feel like if someone young came in and they were like, right, I need a better way that I can reach out through the information to other people, like i.e. if Zach Kirk, whatever his fucking last name is,
Zach Kirk.
if he did like a podcast with like a couple other people and they spoke about politics and like what they were trying to do and all that kind of stuff, be super easy for everyone, for like young people to digest. It'd probably people would be more inclined to be like, oh, I might actually follow this now.
Yeah, actually know what he's about, sort of thing, instead of just
let's go do it through a newer media outlet instead of just like following the typical papers and news. Yeah. And then obviously radio as well. But
I guess we still have an older demographic though. The population.
I understand.
There's a lot of people, a lot of voters who.
I don't think it would be the thing that would make you win, but I just feel like it'd be cool for me because
it would go that way.
Rather
right?
watch it.
Yeah, it makes sense to go like when we're our parents' age. It makes sense that there's new platforms where. Yeah, rather than just.
Do you think old platforms will completely die? Like, do you think like old school media, Channel 7, Channel 9? Do you think that will slowly go down? Because we're definitely more social media based. Like I consume all my stuff, like all my news and all that kind of stuff from social media, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I mean, when's the last time we actually turned on like Channel 7 or whatever? We don't even do it for the footy because you do it through KO.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, do you think all those huge? I mean, they're billion-dollar companies. It's hard to see them fold, but
no, I think you're on something because like if you look at like newspapers, like how many people read newspapers these days? Because that was taken over by TV. Yeah, and then social media is like way more accessible than TV now, and Channel 7 shit.
Yeah, but I mean,
channels are shit.
Like 7.
Tracy Grimshaw, you bitch.
I think they'll just adapt. To a digital sort of. I think Channel 7 you'll have like. I mean, you can pretty much watch Channel 7. You can stream it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I think. Not that I've ever.
No, you can. Yeah.
Yeah. But there'll always be a free thing. But I think it would take to our generation or like people just slightly older than us to get to that 60 to 70 mark where it's normalized for them. Sure. Once the people who actually still watch the news or listen to the radio, I listen to the radio because my aux cord snapped off in my car, and I
Yeah.
don't have like the Bluetooth thing. So
That's stinky.
I'm one of the only people, like the last millennial, to be listening to the actual like radio every day.
I've stuck to a New Year's resolution I made about social media.
Yeah.
I've cut my usage. I deleted Facebook off my phone.
Yeah, I've done the same thing.
Nice. We'll talk. Okay. Facebook, deleted TikTok. Not that I was using that much. Deleted Snapchat. which
Is that why you haven't replied to me on TikTok?
Yes. No. I don't know. But Snapchat was a big one that I was using heaps. And
Really?
like, I wasn't using it for a long time, and then I like got added to this group chat with like all the people I go to uni with. And ever since I started like smashing Snapchat, it's not a person, it's an app. Ever since I started using that lots, I felt like a pull to my phone, like I'm just waiting for my phone to ding, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like I remember during like my uni exams, I was just looking at my phone, waiting for it to ding so I could get
In
out
your
and
exams?
revise. Not like the exam period, like because I'd just be revising all day, I'd just be waiting for my phone to go off. But yeah, I've stuck to that, and it's like you realize now that I'm off my like Facebook in particular, I don't see any news at all. But it's really refreshing because you don't get fed so much shit, and just it just clears a lot of the dumb shit you see, and then you can just focus on like what you actually care about, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think there's definitely there's something healthy about removing yourself from like things outside of your distraction. And I'm going to use the term like reading, but I'm listening to the audiobook of Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and
I read that.
So I'm on chapter 3 or 4, I can't quite remember now, but he's just talking about that kind of stuff, about like people that search too much around the outside and like find all these things pretty much to be depressed about, when really like if you change your mindset and you focus on like basically the things that you can touch, like your direct things, and you work on good relationships, and you work on like pushing yourself like in like maybe career wise, or like do those things, you'll generally find that you're a happier person and that you start to feel more fulfillment, instead of being too just I guess just like spending too much energy contemplating and thinking about all these things that are completely external. And like we say, like in Australia, political parties can change, but your day-to-day life will very rarely change.
That's
Like
a good pullback.
you can
Happiness.
thank you.
Penis.
But yeah, there's definitely something refreshing about it, and I think there is something healthy. And I think the old generation will argue like, oh, you need to know what's going on in the world, but do you?
You don't, because humans, right, they've evolved from like monkeys and that. So like basically you don't need news because monkeys don't have news, do they?
And they did fine.
That's not saying we don't need medicine. Monkeys have had medicine, we don't need medicine.
No, but dead ass. I like to think about shit on like a Homo sapien scale, because like
sapien. Okay, yeah.
you think about how long humans evolved as primates, I suppose, and like how long the species evolved naturally, and then in the last 200 years we've just been given porn and TikTok. Like there's no like, and like obviously no one would have been killing themselves 300,000 years ago. Like the only reason people lived was for survival, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So like there's do you think there's actually an upsurge of people killing themselves and mental health issues, or do you think we're just more aware of it?
No, I think there's an uplift.
Yeah, me too.
I think there's an uplift.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's an
Yeah.
uplift.
Stupid question.
I know someone that committed suicide 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
And something that they wrote on their note was about social media.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one, and I think to go back to what you were saying, Drewzy, I think definitely if you went back in time, people were just living for survival, and like your day-to-day life is about not dying. It's like, I need to hunt for food, I need to like ABC, but we spend our lives in like things that just hand on a platter. You get greedy, you start to.
I think the comparison to other people is probably the biggest driver in that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
like for instance I say the American dream, but I guess you could say the Western ideal. Like probably grow like at our parents' age was to, or even just before that, like just getting a stable job and then having a family and then like ticking all those boxes.
Buying a house, paying off a mortgage, and die.
See, that's the thing. We think it's boring because we've been so overexposed to the amount of people who are like entrepreneurial.
So many people do that though. So many people just like run for safety because like of the unknown. Like, you know what I mean?
I just think they're probably not taught to know what else is out there. But then what I'm saying is, well, there's the other effect where we are probably overexposed to people like, I don't know, your Logan Pauls for an extreme example, and we're like, oh, that's what's possible. We can.
No, I think you're wrong. Because how many people do you see that actually pursue their dreams?
A small
Not many.
minority.
Yeah.
Not many at all.
Yeah, but I actually would counter that and say there's a lot of people who don't even think they need to think like that, and therefore more content with their lives and probably happier. I think there's a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
There's like a sweet spot where people pursue their dreams and they're happier, but then there's like a lot of people who think they deserve more and then never obtain it. And then versus people maybe in previous generations who were happy living the vanilla American dream lifestyle. They're actually happier people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. But
I'm not saying one's better. I'm not saying I like we should all be like that. I'm just saying I think there's a relationship between how happy you are and contentment. But whether or not being content with such a boring life is like...
Yeah. Well, some people it is, right. Like some people actually that is what they yearn for. That's what they want.
Yeah.
And then my point would be that I think it's like innate to your personality. I think some people are just born that way, where like they're always interested in the extreme side of things. They're like the adrenaline junkies and they're that kind of stuff. So I think it's more personality driven.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think having the mindset, that like kiddish mindset of having dreams is like really healthy. Like it's something that I've taken away from my childhood, is like set your goals high sort of thing. I read a good quote in a book that I'm reading, Relentless by Tim Grover. It was people will tell you a million ways that you can't get somewhere because it's like what they've thought of. Like it stops them from getting to where they want to be sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Sean the other day, my brother, and I was like talking to him about how people tell me, like, I've always been told by everyone that, like, I don't know, I won't be able to make it in AFL media. I won't.
Really?
I won't be able to train athletes.
Who said that to you?
Just like people all along the way, like forever. Like not anyone close to me, obviously, but it's just people would definitely think about doing cool shit and be like, oh nah, too hard. And then when you try to do it, they'll be like, oh, you won't be able to do it because they've thought about doing it and haven't made the commitment to it, so they want you to fail.
Yeah, they don't want to see you do something that they didn't have the balls to do, basically.
Exactly.
And humans in general, and maybe this is more Western culture, but we definitely have a massive problem where we have tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
Would way rather see, or I don't want to see, but people would way rather see someone crash and burn than someone shoot off into stardom. Like they would way rather. It's like Britney Spears on a crash down got way more media coverage than it ever should have.
Yeah.
But then you got people that are doing really fucking well that it just like sort of slides under the radar. Other than maybe like sport athletes obviously get the hype train because it's good for their media.
But even when they crash,
it's bigger news, right? Yeah, like it's way more entertaining for a lot of people, which I think is just like the most toxic trait we as a culture have.
But yeah, I was trying to say, like, it's such a simple quote that Sean told me, but water off a duck's back, like that's how I perceive people's opinions these days. Like, unless you're in my circle of friends and you give me an opinion, I'll listen to it. Yeah. But any just person that's not chasing something that they're truly passionate about that gives me a piece of advice. I remember I was at lunch, I'm not going to say who it was, but I was at lunch with some people one day and I was like, yeah, I want to train athletes. And they were like, you don't train athletes? I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
what? That's weird.
I will train, like, and it's dead ass because, like, that person would have thought about it and would have been like, oh, no, it's too hard. There's only, like, such a small percentage of people that can get that role. Yeah. And it's like, nah, like, I'll set my goals on it and hustle to get there. Like, obviously it's going to be hard work, but if you're willing to put in the graft, just get that water off my back, bitch.
Anything that's worth having is a hard slog to get.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where people take the easy route and take that sort of vanilla life, that Western culture dream, and that's why they get so depressed because all that stuff is easy. Like, it's easy to buy a house. The bank will happily give you a massive loan where like you like can put up maybe like 1% of like the house value just to sign up to a loan. Like, all that stuff is easy. It's easy to get a 9 to 5. It's easy to buy that house. It's easy to spend the next 40 years of life paying it off just to like die and retire, or retire and die.
Die and then retire.
But yeah, it's doing those things that are hard. But that's where you see the people that make it. Like, to use your example, the Logan Paul, and you look at his life now and you'd be like that's sick. Like what he's done is sick, but he did like run the gauntlet. He did like pull out of college to go do that.
Yeah.
So like it's like anything. Like there's a risk to reward ratio, and if you want to play that safe route where your risk is low, then your reward's always going to be low. But if you ever want to like push the barrier and like really challenge yourself, really put yourself in that like competitive environment where like you're competing for a spot, the moment that you get the spot, that's where like that's the best situation.
But
So
then you got to keep going from there as well. You don't.
well, yeah,
stop
and that's
there.
where you can't get complacent and you can't do all those things. But just to add on to your little water for ducks back quote, the one that I like, that I always stick to, quack, is Marty Ducks. The one that I like, that I heard once and then it stuck with me forever, and we all have those quotes, but mine was, if you don't take someone's advice, why would you take their criticism? And like there's a lot of people that will tell you how to do something when you're doing it well, and you'll be like, you're like, yeah, sure, mate, no worries. You'll walk away, and immediately the first thing you say, your ego's high, you're feeling good because it's something that you might be good at. The first thing you say is like, that guy's got no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's out of your brain, you never think about it again.
Yeah.
But if he comes in, he says something negative, you will stew on that shit for so fucking long.
It's so motivating as well.
But yeah, it is, and that's where it's healthy, like if you can use it for that. But I think when people stew on it too much, and it starts to really like take too much energy from their mind, that's where it's a problem. So if you have someone who like gives you some sort of negative feedback, ask yourself the first question, like, if it were positive, would I take this? Would I take it on board? Would I take their advice? Like, if it's no, then like don't even give a fuck. Don't care about what their criticism is, because it's irrelevant, obviously.
Mentors are so important, I think, to have. I see Jesse as a mentor. Nice.
I love how you use the voice to mask the awkwardness of giving him a compliment.
Yeah, no, I fucking hate you, bro. No, just having people that you know you can go to for the solid advice every time. Like, you're not just gonna get dumb, generic shit.
I think it was dumb Jesse shit.
Yeah, but just having people that you know you can go to for certain like aspects, and yeah, get the advice that you want, and not listen to just people that you see every day that just are gonna say whatever. You don't give a fuck about their opinions.
Yeah. And a mentor can be someone that you don't even realize is your mentor. A mentor can be someone that like you might work with, but you hold their opinion in high regard.
Yeah.
And so when they compliment you on your work and you feel good about it, like that's your mentor. You've got yourself a mentor.
Yeah.
I think Jill Buckley was just talking about this with Paddy Cripps. He was talking about almost like an anti-mentor. He didn't use that word. That's my word.
I watched that podcast.
Did you?
Yeah,
he says that mentors can be people who are just like negative examples of what you shouldn't do.
Yeah. Okay.
And those people still count
what not
as
to do,
mentors.
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is just as useful as people who
For
show
sure.
you the right thing to do.
I think that's almost like, just to relate back to my career, I think like the best thing I've seen is like a lot of what not to do cases, because in my mind I then can like scratch it out and know that like that's not the way I want to do things. Or even if you just see the way that people operate and you notice that like they might come off a bit floggish, or like there might be something that just rubs people up the wrong way, and then making a mental note and being like, that's not how I want to treat the situation. Because like you're not gonna like off the bat know how to treat every situation in life, but what you can do is you can analyze people, maybe not analyze, but just view people and watch what they're doing and be critical to the way that people are operating, and slowly scratch out traits that you don't like, until eventually maybe you've worked yourself over a 10-year, 20-year horizon, and then you start to portray this person that you think is like who embodies how you want to act.
You learn lessons the best when you experience them yourself.
Yeah.
As much advice as you can get, as many self-help books that you can read, until you experience things firsthand, that's when it really sort of ingrains in your thoughts and how you act.
Without being too lame, but I think it does have to incite like almost like an emotional reaction. Like you also have to remember how it felt to be wrong or make that mistake.
Yeah, that's
and like bring about the anxiety. That's what I mean. So like the value of actually doing it yourself is that you remember that feeling, and that's like as powerful as anything is to teaching you the way to act.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, big time. I'm definitely a person where I'm gonna get away from the mic.
You know what?
I'm definitely a person where the only way that I know how to do something is if I've been through it, like at least once. And I say at least once because sometimes it takes multiple times to like nut something out. But
Giggity.
There's some things that you stop saying this.
I thought I was like, dude, just keep talking, please. Oh, come on.
I'm done with this podcast. There's some mistakes in life that I feel you need to make a couple of times, but like in general, I definitely agree. I think like I'm personally someone that needs to go through something, be involved in it, and maybe it is like that emotional connection that helps me remember it.
I guess I was thinking more of like a negative reinforcement feeling. So like if you make a mistake and you remember feeling we're talking so like cryptically and like vaguely and not specific, but like say like the feeling of making a mistake.
Yeah.
When when you think, oh shit, I felt terrible last time I did something similar, it actually trains you really effectively.
Yes.
Nothing but good times.
But it probably works for the opposite as well. If you have really hot, like real good highs, and you remember the formula.
Going to metros.
No.
Okay. Darts.
Yes.
Lessons being learned, it's always the hardest thing to do, but there's nothing more rewarding, I think. Like, Bruce E. quote, one of my favourite musicians, the lowest you will go is how high that you can climb. I really like that. Like,
sorry,
think about that.
The lowest you can go
is how high you can climb. Like polar. Like
oh, okay. So as far as you fall, you need to climb higher to get higher. So
think of like
I see what you're saying.
Like -10 and 10. Like if you're at a -10.
But if you only get to -3, it's only 3.
Oh, come on.
Is that not right?
No, yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Like that's what your character's made of, sort of thing. How you climb through that and come out of the other end. You know, you'd know all about it, going through shit times and whatnot.
I thought you were being sexual.
I don't know, like going through shit times and coming out, like all the lessons you learn as shit as the times are, like makes you somewhat of a better person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can drift through life not having gone through some shit without like. You'll never fully develop if you don't go through those shitty times.
So many people just keep feeding into shitty times though. Like lots of people just like keep smashing drugs. Lots of people like, I don't know, they'll have a girlfriend when they're like 15 and then they'll just be like, alright, I don't know anything else, I gotta get another girlfriend. I know people that just have like girlfriends after girlfriends and it's just like, bro, you're just not happy with yourself. Come on. Like,
that's probably true. Yeah, there's probably something in that. When I think, speaking from experience, someone who just got out of a 4-year relationship, you have to
11 podcasts in a row.
You wanker.
Because I constantly talk about it.
Okay, never mind. All I was going to say is that you do have to relearn how to be self-accepting, you fucking dickhead.
I'm sorry. Nah, but that's the most rewarding thing. As long as you go is how high you can climb, bro.
Very true.
Yeah, but how is your self-fulfillment going?
It's fine.
Get out of it.
He says that in a way that doesn't seem fine.
Get out, yeah, no. It's going pretty well at the moment. Yeah,
that's good.
Loving the gym at the moment.
Yeah.
That gives me a lot of like I think I said it when lockdown happened. I was pretty neg. I think it sounds silly. I think the first thing I was most worried about was not going to the gym because I think it's not even just vanity. Like it's partly that, like you feel better when you look better. I think like a lot of people do that, but there's also I thought about it a bit more and I was like, there's the discipline and the esteem you get from hitting goals. So like when you're constantly going up, you're lifting your bench every week, which I was sort of at that point at the time. Like you get a bit of a buzz. Like I benched 95 the other day and it just lifted me for the whole day. It lifted my confidence, which is, it's like kind of superficial, but I think just the goal setting and the achievement, like that's really important. And I've been pretty good, even on days where I felt shit, I've still been going to the gym and probably
that's the
6 or
best
7
days to go to the gym when you feel shit.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, you've been going to the gym for a long time, but going to the gym now is so easy for me. Like it's just something that you just go through the motions, you know what I mean? Like I only started going to the gym at the start of last year, and I read a book, Discipline Equals Freedom, and it just said the best way to do things is just put one foot in front of the other, just like get to where you want to be, lift the weights, and then you're done. Like, and I used to think that because I used to hate going to the gym. I was a little stick. I was 50 kilos, literally just like this alien in the gym, just pumping like 2 kilo dumbbells. And yeah, I'd literally go like, all right, pick up my keys, walk out the house, turn on my car, walk in the gym, and now I'm here. Now I have to do it.
Yeah.
And just doing that like 4 times a week for 3 months, bada bing, bada boom, 5 kilos on, and then that's when like, you know, the addiction starts.
Yeah, I loved. Sorry, one thing I do now is because I often go to the gym tired. Like I think when you work full time, it's just a natural thing. You can't avoid going to the gym tired. It's rare that you go to the gym pumped. But one thing I've started doing is now that it's so ingrained in my routine is I don't think about the gym until I'm there. So like driving, I've caught myself like driving to the gym several times and I've been like, fuck, I would just love to smash a nap right now. But then I just thought, don't think about where I'm going. Just get to the gym. Once you get in there, and then once I'm there, like it's completely
Catch
fine.
the vibe.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's just it's when you fixate on like what you're about to do. That's the challenging time.
Yeah, I think the gym is some of the best therapy that you can do. Like
100%.
personally, it's like if any like hurt or pain that you feel, I feel like the gym can be like one of the best ways to navigate your way out of it.
100%.
And I think it is for a couple of reasons. I think it is because like something that you touched on. It's a really achievable goal, right? So going to the gym is very achievable. Fitting that into your routine is very achievable. But then it's also like I feel like and I haven't really met someone that hasn't had this, but you go to the gym enough and you commit to it enough, you will see progress. Like it's impossible to go there and lift those weights without lifting more, without getting like stronger. With like it's just like the human body works that way. So it's this thing where like if you go there and you're dedicated to it, you will succeed. And it might take someone a bit longer than another person, but you will get there and you will see gains. And once you see those gains, that's when like it really starts to feed into itself. And I think the other thing that is really important is the discipline. I think discipline is like
Doing something that you don't like.
for sure, right? It's like it's like if you're disciplined and you look at any successful person, no matter what it is, they have a level of discipline that beats the other people. That's why they're better.
It's what it is like not loving the work, but knowing the results are worth the grind that you have to go through.
Yeah, and putting yourself through it, and like I think knowingly putting yourself through pain, and then getting at the other side, and then realizing that pain isn't this thing that you should fear. Sometimes pain equals reward.
Yeah,
and I think that's the underlying lesson to it.
Yeah, well, yeah. When you do something really hard, everything else becomes easier. It's as simple as that. Another thing for a pullback, pullback's such a weird word. Gets me every time.
I was gonna leave it.
Another thing for a pull out.
Fuck's sake. The Homo sapiens for millions of years running.
Freddie Mercury, David Bowie.
Oh,
Actually,
that's a terrible joke.
Was David Bowie gay? I don't think he was.
No,
Continue.
yeah.
Continue.
Okay, people. Anyway, just
Leave that in.
being able to exert force on your muscles. You give me weird looks.
I didn't. I genuinely didn't.
Nah, alright, come on. But no, like, yeah, you gotta exert enough energy in a day to feel natural. You look at Homo sapiens from, again, 300,000 years ago, whatever. They were built like brick shit houses. You see the civilizations that are still going, that are still in, like, haven't really discovered technology or whatever.
Yeah.
You look at them, they are fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Like, because that's how people should be. They should
Yeah.
have muscles that contract the right way. No adipose tissue. You wouldn't find an ounce of fat on a bloke in the bloody Brazilian jungle. What's it called? The Amazon. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I know it's just a cartoon, but Wall-E, how the human race turns what they turn into in the movie Wall-E.
It's all fat, hey.
They're in like these chairs that hover and just like skirt around,
Yeah.
and they're like connected up to headsets. They're connected up to like virtual reality, and they're basically just fat like sacks of lard with no bone structure anymore. They can't stand, they can't walk.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like just a cartoon, but it's like a very powerful like underlying message.
Most of the cartoons do have like
They definitely do, yeah.
It's like a good part of
And it's also like completely underrated, but I noticed that cartoons also have like a lot of like dirty jokes in them.
Yeah.
You're way too young to realise, but you watch cartoons now and you just think like, how did you get away with that? Like that is filth.
Can you imagine me as an animator or like a creator for Disney? Like I
don't think you'd get a job for Disney. I think you'd be more of a Family Guy type situation.
No, but I mean hypothetically, like if I worked for like a wholesome brand, I would definitely be like chucking a few dirty jokes.
Underlying.
Like, I can see how it happens.
But you got to, right? You got to give the parents something to like watch as well, like something to get them off.
Is that a cock and balls? It's true though. Like
You see
Disney
the cock and balls in my
face.
Come on, it was a Saturday night. Let me.
Continue.
my 5 coaches under pressure or whatever. Never mind, bro.
The cock and balls.
Yeah, I was like, Geelong put their cock and balls out on the table and I've got like a rooster with 2 soccer balls in it.
I didn't notice that actually.
Nah.
I watched the video. I didn't. Maybe I left it on the background.
Proud of you.
Thanks. How's 2021 shaping up for you on YouTube?
Real good, mate.
Real good?
Yeah, real close. Actually, the podcast that I did recently is fucking
very
smashing
well.
it. It's really fucking smashing it. I deleted the YouTube Studio app on the same premise that like I've deleted Instagram, deleted Facebook. I've kept Snappy because I only have like a couple of chicks on there, friends, female friends.
No, they're not.
On there.
No, they're not.
Oh dear, I actually genuinely they are just friends of mine, and
They're friends until you clap them.
No, don't. Fuck
Sexy
me.
bum friends.
Don't you think tits?
I got a couple of chicks on there, right? I actually really regret saying that because they are generally just my friends. But
Leave that in.
yeah. Anyway, no, so I've kept Snappy because that's the only way I keep in touch with a couple of people. But yeah, no, I deleted Messenger at first, and then I was like, nah, too important. Anyway, long story short, yeah, no. So I deleted the Studio app, but then I ventured on yesterday onto my laptop, and I was just curious. And yeah, no, it's nearly got as many views as last year's predictions podcast, and that was 12 months ago, so it's obviously
What's it
gonna
on
smash.
now? Like almost 4K?
3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, very happy with that.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm very keen for this year. Like, I don't know. I uploaded my predictions and like
Your predictions video smashed mine.
it's almost on 10K.
Yeah, and that's where would that rank in videos for you?
Top 5
Yeah, that's
all
sick.
time.
That's sick.
Which is handy.
It was a good video. Deserved it. Yeah.
I was so flat that day, and I just made
Really?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, someone commented like, you need to stop cutting mid-sentence. Like, you need to stop making cuts mid-sentence.
Oh, okay,
It makes you
'cause-
sound like a robot. And I was
Yeah,
like,
right,
yeah,
right,
just because
yeah.
I kept stuttering my words.
It's
Thanks
hard.
a lot.
It's hard. Yeah.
Do it yourself. But off the back of making like videos that weren't particularly stinkers, but stinky views all summer, and then putting out a predictions, and then like a big calls,
Yeah.
and it's just like, all right, the interest is back now, and just being able to put out videos again that actually do have interest, that people are wanting to watch. It's just so exciting.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is good. I think you should keep doing the content you want to do because I know AFL is not like your first and foremost priority, but like AFL will bring you the views. So I would just keep doing the stuff you want in the background and just like mix it up. Do you know what I mean?
Just wean it in.
I think you just went like, you probably went like, yeah, you probably went like 10 videos and maybe like there was one AFL video in them. And I think that just destroyed your momentum a bit.
Wait, say that again.
Over summer, when you said you weren't doing so well,
Yeah.
9 out of 10 videos were probably nothing to do with AFL.
No.
Nah, I reckon there was I'm referring to like the vlogs, the Drewzy
Yeah.
yarns and stuff like that
Yeah, okay.
without AFL in the title.
Yeah.
If you cycle it so that you go AFL video or like 2 AFL videos and then a weekly vlog or like UFC reaction, yeah, I think over time, I think you need to keep both because the game plan can't be to just do AFL for like say the whole of 2021 and then be like, oh, now I want to make UFC content or Man
Yeah.
United content, random examples. But yeah, I think it's good to build both at the same time.
I think I enjoy like being a slut for views more than like, because I do enjoy like,
I get it.
I only make content that I enjoy making. It's not content that I go like,
Yeah.
oh god, I really don't want to make this video. I'm gonna smile for 15 minutes, turn the camera on, get it done, then chuck it out. Like, no, like I actually do enjoy making the videos that we make.
That makes one of us.
Jesus. But
You
no,
like making your vids?
Yeah, I'm just saying there's definitely a few where I'm like, oh,
Really?
rather fart in my hands and clap. But continue.
You need to shit in your hands and clap.
Yeah, but I kind of...
No, he's actually referring to something that he does.
I'd actually rather go do this right now.
Quite literally, actually.
Yeah. He's not speaking metaphorically. He actually does fart in his hands.
Metaphorically.
Damn it.
I got where you're going.
Metaphorically.
That's all good.
Wait.
Wait. Sorry, finish that point. I was going to ask you something, but
No, go on.
I was just going to say, tell the audience more about what you envisaged the Drew Footy show to be. Because I don't think you've gone real specific.
Well, have you mentioned, obviously, that you're Drewzy, you're True Footy, and you are collabing?
Oh, shit. I knew that. I'm part of it.
Yeah.
Are these people?
Yeah, so the premise of the show, what got me into like content in particular was this show from Copper 90. It was called Comments Below, and it was these two blokes, Pod and Booge, had a good dynamic. Like me and Jesse have a good dynamic sometimes.
Me too.
But yeah, every week they uploaded a show, and I've pretty much fully ripped it off. But they really,
True Footy is just an amalgamation of other people's formats.
Yeah.
Like
Mainly
that's just how it
True
works.
Geordie.
but
Yes.
yeah.
It's in the name.
But the comments below, the premise of it was you comment below and that makes up the whole video, and they just like say St Kilda played Carlton and I don't know, something skits happens.
St Kilda, yuck. Am I right?
I don't know. Bad example. Dustin Martin versus, I don't know, fucking...
The world.
Yeah, Dustin Martin versus the world. I don't know. Dusty kicks 4. What are your thoughts? I don't know.
Okay.
Toby Green knocks someone out. That was funny. I don't know. And then we
All
just, like,
viable options.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't know. When there's news out there, people are going to want someone's opinion on it.
Commentators.
Having 3,000 subscribers, at least one person's going to wonder what mine or your opinion is on that matter. They
Maybe.
comment. Lots of comments generates more views.
Yes. Engagements, mate.
Exactly.
I actually did think about doing some sort of Coulworld news,
Yeah.
but keeping it very global,
Yeah.
and just say like whether it like it. I mean, we don't do once a week anyway, but say come into it and just literally search on that, like put news into Google and just pick like the hottest topic of that time and just do that because
It's true news.
yeah.
No, I'm not.
But then, like
I think it's
the
fucking
whole
cool.
point is like people that watch you and people that, I mean, if people are coming back to watch each video, they sort of start to like your personality and what you have to say about something, and then it's just as simple as like offering your thoughts on a popular topic, and like maybe the title might like create more people, and then if they hear you a couple of times and they think that you have like a funny perspective or you have a cool perspective, they might watch it more and more and more. But it was just like another way of like.
Yeah.
Formulating content, I guess.
At the end of the day, there's no new ideas under the sun. Everything's been done.
I got a new
Just
one.
Go on.
I'm not going to say it now because I'll steal it.
Hessian pants.
That's been around.
Yeah, someone's
Yeah.
definitely wore a pair of Hessian pants.
Yeah.
For sure, Hessian pants. Yeah.
Yeah, only in an emergency.
You just condition it and it like gets a lot softer.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that.
We're on 5% battery on your thing, so we just be aware of that. So we should probably
How long have you been gone for?
probably about an hour. I don't know.
Alright, well, we're on 5%, so
Yeah,
until it gets down to 2, we'll keep
All
going.
right, cool.
All right. Anything major that we want to get in before we call it a
People
night?
spend their time too much, wasting their time. Time is money, and people waste it.
Yeah, I've definitely am one who's addicted to my phone. So deleting all the time.
What's your daily?
It's actually not too bad.
usage? What like
Like
they give you
4
the hour
hours?
thing?
4
Yeah,
hours.
so I'm close to the same.
See, but the thing is, I just catch myself all the time being like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, this is 15 minutes wasted." Can you, like, if you added up those 4 hours, that's a lot of time to be doing other
Right,
stuff.
you can do something really productive with that
Yeah.
at that time.
I'm not a hater of social media. I think it's good and it's important. Like, I think you feel more connected to the people around you in a way.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like, I see the value in that. That being said, yeah, the amount of times, like, okay, so I'm in this process where I've deleted the apps like 3 days ago, whatever. I find myself still going through my phone, going through Gmail. I fucking opened Google Drive today because I just was the compulsion to just find like some stimulus.
I did the same thing 3 months ago, and now
Yeah.
I literally go, like, it sounds stupid, but I just go like an hour without thinking about where my phone is now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, where's my phone? And then
Yeah.
I have to,
I love those moments where
Yeah.
like you realize.
It's so good being disconnected from your phone.
You know what I did actually though, because I still have all the apps, but generally I'm pretty good at refraining from like constantly checking them and whatnot.
I'll say that you are. You don't really spend too much time on your phone.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But what I do is I always make sure I have a couple of like brain teaser games on my phone.
Really?
So when I do have that compulsion, I can go on there and I can still feel like I'm getting something out of it.
Fuck, that's a really good idea.
It's a great idea, right? And so a lot of mine are based off. They're based off like literature, so a lot of mine are like guess the word and things like that because
Okay.
they're some of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a dyslexic person, so they're things that I want to work on constantly. So if I feel like a compulsion to do something on my phone, I can do it while still feeling like I'm gaining something, and that still gives me like a positive outlet.
Yeah.
And still works on my weaknesses.
It's
like
constructive.
It's trying to find that constructive like thing that helps with it. So that's what I try and do. And
That's
I always
actually a really good
always
idea.
make sure I have like at least 2 or 3, and I circle them around because they do get quite boring after a while because they're boring games. But I always make sure I have a couple of those on my phone.
Good way to spend time on your phone.
The chess app. I used to play chess. A lot.
Yeah,
I think that's
chess is a great
idea.
one.
Might,
Yeah.
might actually re-download that just simply on the basis of
Yeah,
that.
and when you feel that compulsion, you just jump on that, and it eases it. But then you get that hour away from like real life.
Yeah.
Because you just get caught up in the phone world, and you're like it's still somewhat constructive.
People
Yeah.
put some fucking hours into their phone, like
Yeah.
some serious time into their phone. My whole generation is hooked on TikTok. It's something
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's one of the worst ones, man. Because
It's
like
terrible.
you can spend hours and not even know it.
but
They-
it's the drug that's what they're going for. They're going for like small clips small attention.
Well, it was made by Japan, right? So they're famous in like bright colors, like that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
It like they just made it perfectly. Like they nailed everything. They nailed like I forget what do they call it? Is it an outer face or whatever they call like
interface?
The interface, which is the actual.
face.
No, but like is that what they call it?
A user interface, yeah.
Right, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So they nailed it in terms of that. Everything's really clean. Everything's really easy to use. It's a lot of bright colors. It's short videos, so like your attention span doesn't need to be huge. You're not like consuming a great deal of content, and it makes you for some reason stick around and watch more and more and more and more and more because they're small little clips.
Yeah.
And they're bright colors, and they're like, it's like if you look at any sort of like Japanese game, like console game or like computer game or iPhone game,
really
it's
stimulating.
bright lights, it's Candy Crush, it's all that kind of stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like just dopamine rush to the max.
I think I was watching on a Joe Rogan, he was talking about keeping up with the Kardashians and why that is, or partially why that's been so successful, is one tactic they use is they cut camera shots extremely rapidly. So just like if you're watching at a static shot and you watch Kim Kardashian talk about a day for like a minute, you'd be like, oh my God,
This
it's
is
close.
boring.
But if it's just cutting between different things, it's extremely highly stimulating. It's creating a dopamine rush every time that you see like a change. Your brain's responding to it. It actually makes you more engaged.
Should we actually film this podcast in one camera and then just like cut between each person that films? I mean, each person that talks.
Yeah,
And then
I like
that's
that.
almost the same thing.
Well, that is exactly what we're doing. We've got two cameras.
Yeah, but if you
Oh,
cut
do you
between
mean... Yeah.
and cut all like the dead space out, it'll just be like bing bong, bing 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 bong.
That sounds fucked.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't do that.
Especially for our editor, old Jesse.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm the one that edits.
I love my YouTube life. I don't look at the views. Couldn't tell you what our highest like number
Yeah.
is like for views. I don't edit shit. I barely set up. I mean, like, the only thing I really set up is I always grab this white mic because I think it's drip, and that's like all I fucking set up. And I just like come on, talk some shit, and leave.
Me and Jesse was setting up this podcast.
I have to ask how to turn the camera on. It's like the first time I've done it.
Two sitting on the couch. How do you turn the camera on?
Are there games on your camera?
Is there?
I might stop this mic. We can keep going if we swing that
All
around.
right. That's cool. Yeah.
There we go.
I do
Bang.
need a tinkle, though.
Okay, but yeah.
If you guys want to keep talking, I'll go pee.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Is this the first podcast where someone's left? No, I'm sure it's happened before.
No. Yeah, what? Where it's just you and me?
No, like where like someone on the set has left to go have a piss and then to come back.
No, because it's just you and me, so it'd be weird if that happens.
Yeah, I mean like not just our podcast, like in podcasts around the world.
yeah. People would go for a piss in a podcast.
No, Joe Rogan, yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
They can't hear you.
Oh, true. Yeah, he did it with Post Malone.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Went for a twinkle.
What's your music taste?
Very wide. No, I'm not talking about Susan Boyle. Haha, banter. No, I love drum and bass.
Nice.
I love like mank rock as well. So like Oasis, Stone Roses, and bands that take inspiration from that, like DMAs.
Mm-hmm.
Australian surf rock, I'm a bit of a slut for. Like just your classic like Sticky Fingers. I love Sticky
dope.
Fingers. And then my like rappers. Mac Miller is my favorite artist of all time.
Dope. Actually,
Yeah.
I just bought a couple of albums. Let me show you on
Alright.
the podcast. This is organic moments. You might throw off your jocks.
Okay.
But I went to the store.
What store?
I went to the store and I found them and I was like, I'm just gonna buy them.
Nice. I'm excited.
JB Hi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
They're dope albums. They do a lot.
Yeah, I've seen a
It's a
couple of
fucking
them.
new trend, I think.
I'm here by myself now.
They also rap.
Oh, I saw that.
No, you didn't.
I did see the first
No,
one.
you didn't. Okay, so
They still can't hear you.
I've kept these from Drewzy. All right, ladies,
I saw one.
ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Okay, so one of my favorite artists of all time to this day was Xxxtentacion.
Yeah.
He got me into rap. So before that, my music taste was just like wild and weird, and like I didn't really have anything that I fucking loved.
Yeah.
So I bought his Question Mark album,
Yeah.
the last album he dropped before he died.
That was a great album.
Yeah, so my favorite is the one before that, but
17.
yeah,
Yeah.
love that. That was like my album that I rocked with real hard. But bought that. Never gonna play it. Never gonna open it. I'm literally gonna buy a frame for it and frame it up.
Yeah, nice.
That's my plan for it. And then my second one that I got, this mic is on the piss, is Juice WRLD. Again, last album before he died.
Okay, yeah. See, the last album before he died is cool, but anything after that, they ran X into the ground. Everything that come out after X died sucked, and I think it's the same with Juice WRLD.
Yeah. So obviously this is the last thing that they brought out. So X hasn't. If you go on X's Spotify, this is the last thing you'll see. He has got others because he's got that members only. I forget who make it, but it's like a whole lot of like Ski Mask Slump God and all these other people. And so they've brought out other people have used them, and like he's featured on a whole lot of things since he's died.
Yeah.
But if you go on his page, if you search up Xxxtentacion, that's the last thing you can possibly have.
Yeah, that's a cool like album.
Super cool. Well. And then I think the Juice WRLD one's the same. And so if you go on Juice WRLD, that's the last thing that you can find for him.
Yeah, that's
it's the last thing that he put out. This again, this one was expensive, man. This one cost me $75. And it's actually 2 records inside.
Yeah.
So it's 4 sides. Again, I would never open it. I'm just going to frame it and use it as artwork, basically. Yeah, which is silly because a lot of people will be like, if you're going to use it for artwork, why don't you just find the album cover and just like find a poster of it and frame that? But I want to have the albums because my dad has a huge record collection. Yeah. My dad's like a big music guy. And it sort of comes from like a pretty dark place, the reason why he's big into music. Yeah. He had like a real bad upbringing, and he had parents that weren't very nice to him, weren't very nice to each other. Yeah. So when he was like 10 years old, his uncle, or his great uncle, bought him like a little portable radio. Yeah. And so at night he used to play it and put it in his pillow so he wouldn't hear fighting from outside. Yeah, and he used to just play that. And so then from that he just grew this love for music. And so now he has this insane collection. And he has like some of the most rarest records you could never find ever. Yeah. And so over like recent years, I've sort of thought to myself, and because a big topic within our family as well was like when our mum and dad passed, which is like a horrible thing to think about, but it's all about like what album do you get? And so like me, my brother, and my sister will go down and be like, I'm getting this album, I'm getting this album, and my dad gets off on it. Like it's people shouldn't be like talk about when they pass. But one thing that is like a positive that when we talk about when we pass is like what albums do we get?
Yeah, what will you pass on?
And like all that kind of things. And it's like a cool thing that my dad can get into, and he likes talking about it, he likes conversing, he likes talking about like, oh, you like that album, oh, you get that album. And so I kind of want to do the same thing.
All right. So we've had some technical difficulties, but we are back. But you know, we're going to wrap up the podcast there, I think. I'm wrapping up your podcast. Thanks for having me on, lads. It's been sick. It's genuinely one of my favourite podcasts to listen to, knowing you guys. And I don't know, like you don't talk shit most of the time, but like you talk about
the whole thing is us talking shit.
But when Dylan talks, is good.
The lessons that you have learnt, it conveys well when I listen, and I appreciate listening to it. Is that still going?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my computer is fucking us in the ass, not in a good way.
Not in the way that you would like.
No, not.
Buy me dinner first. Oh my god.
What you want from a laptop? No, thank you, Drews. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where people who watch Coulworld can find you, and also what they can expect from you over 2021?
Drewzy on YouTube, _Drewzy on Instagram. What can you expect from me? The Drew Footy Show, pretty much. Just classic AFL content. But yeah.
Are you going to launch your podcast this year?
At the end of the year, probably.
Okay, all right. So in the works.
Yeah.
You kind of got a potty going with Drewzy yarn.
Yeah, but that's just like a lazy attempt at it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's how True Footy started. Lazy attempt.
Yeah. Well, I'll get there.
Here we are. 3 years later, still lazy attempting it.
Yes. But yeah, I'd just like to sign off the podcast. Stay productive. Be true to yourself. Cut the shit from your life. Cut the shit
from this podcast.
Cut the shit from this podcast. We'll just crop you out then. We'll just leave it here. We'll just have me talking to Dylan the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay true to yourself is my advice.
Good stuff.
I reckon that's as good a sign off as ever. So, take it easy. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.